Okay, this is to help you with Check Your Understanding, page 198, or any questions dealing with proportional reasoning. Specifically, though, tonight's homework, you are to look at, well, question number 1 says, the commonly accepted ratio of a human's hand span to total body height is 1 to 8.5. So I could look at, okay, so hand span to body height, that's the ratio that we're looking at, and they gave you 1 to 8.5. I'm going to say it's 1 to 8, just so I'm not doing your homework for you. And then it says, uses proportion to predict Tia's height. She has a hand span of 7 inches. So again, hand span's on top, so we're going to keep that on top. And we want to know what her height is. So that's how you'd set up the proportion. There are 2 ways to solve it from here. One way is just to ask yourself, you look at the 2 things that you know. Like, I don't know this one, but I know 1 and I know 7. How can 1 become 7? You multiply it by 7. So you'd figure out x by multiplying the bottom by 7 as well to get 56. So her height is 56 inches. The other way to solve a proportion when you don't know one value is to find cross products. So the product here will equal this product. How does that help you? Well, 8 times 7 is 56. It equals 1 times x, which is just x, so 56 equals x. This is also going to help you solve question 2, because it says solve the proportion using 2 different strategies. This is strategy 1. This is strategy 2. So to recap, strategy 1 is looking at the 2 that you know. 1 times 7 is 7. You're asking yourself, how can 1 become a 7? And it's either going to be multiplication or division. But of course, 1 times 7 is 7, 8 times 7 is 56. So you're going to look at the problem. How can 4 become 28? Get that answer, you're going to do the same thing to 5. Strategy 2 was to look at the cross products. So remember, whatever 5 times 28 equals, it's going to equal 4 times x. So 5 times 28 equals 4x. You'd figure out this answer and then divide by 4. And that will give you the missing value. On the chart, they give you the ratio 9 to 33. So notice that 45 is really big and then 3 is really small. So all of them have a proportion or a ratio 9 to 33. So you're still asking yourself, kind of like this, how can 9 become 45? Well, 9 times 5 is 45. So you're going to figure out what goes here by saying 33 times 5 goes there. Look at this one. How can 9 become 3? Divide by 3. So 9 divided by 3 gives you the top. 33 divided by 3 gives you the bottom. Hopefully that'll help you figure out that chart. The rest of, well, question number 4, instead of asking you to plot the points, they've plotted it for you, and now they're just going to ask you questions about it. Use a graph to predict the number of miles driven in 5 hours. They might say, okay, let's say, I'm not going to do your homework for you again, so let's say how many miles are driven in 3 hours. I'd find 3 hours and go up, and 150 miles were driven in 3 hours. Or they could say, how long did it take you to travel 100 miles? Find 100, go over to where it crosses the line, and you can see, oh, it took us 2 hours. Hopefully that will help you with your questions on proportional relationships.